Welcome. You're watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. We all know now what went down on the night of the 11th August in Bengaluru, the aftermath of that. We've accessed the FIR copy. The details of this FIR are fascinating to say the least. Was this triggered by politics? And most importantly, where does that leave the citizen of Bengaluru who's still asking questions on what exactly happened? Where does the probe stand? Take a look.
A night of shocking violence and rioting. 3 hours of criminality that Bengaluru will never forget. The worst in a quarter century in one of India's most harmonious cities. While the ruling BJP has focused its attack on the Congress party's appeasement politics, the Congress has returned fire at the BJP-controlled Bengaluru police.
We will take serious action. Congress party वे लोगों को अपीजमेंट करते रहता थे उनके वोट बैंक है
whether it is pre-planned all that should come out through the investigation but BJP should not try to communalize this issue BJP should not try to make political capital out of this.
But the politics has now intensified, with the Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister now suggesting that the rampant rioting was the result of a localized rivalry between Congress leaders and the Social Democratic Party of India, a wing of the controversial Islamist organization PFI.
SDPI now at present the corporator who has been arrested is a SDPI corporator. And many of the functionaries of the SDPI now have initially been arrested. It looks like more a fight between SDPI and Congress.
Muzammil Pasha, who has been charged with inciting violence and who has since been arrested, is a local SDPI leader who unsuccessfully contested municipal elections in the past. The mob he allegedly mobilized had targeted and trashed this man's property. Congress MLA Akhand Srinivas Murthy, whose nephew Naveen had posted a picture on Facebook that triggered the violence. But the state government insists that the offending post was only a tipping point for a battle that had been simmering for several months. Bengaluru's Pulakeshi Nagar Reserve constituency gave the Congress its biggest victory in the 2018 election as Akhand Srinivas Murthy had won by the highest margin. He secured 97,574 votes and won by a margin of 81,626 votes against JDS candidate B. Prasanna Kumar, who managed to get only 15,948 votes. Now assaulted by a mob allegedly at the behest of the SDPI and perceived to have been deprived the full support of his party given the communal sensitivities at play, this is what he has said.
I am asking for Karnataka Home Minister and Chief Minister should give to CCBI or CBI. Who is their background? Why they have given? They have seen some clippings I saw. Now, some person is coming in two-wheeler and giving money to the people to hit them.
The SDPI, which is seen to be trying to recapture Muslim localities from the Congress in Karnataka and elsewhere, has cried foul.
State government is trying to divert the main issue, the sentiments of the people which has been hurt, which has not been highlighted. And they're trying to politicize the issue by saying that, SDPI is involved. And we, as SDPI, we have been a scapegoat between Congress and BJP.
बेंगलुरु में जो भी कुछ हुआ वो दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है लेकिन सरकार को जो कार्रवाई करनी चाहिए थी वो नहीं की जो विधायक जिसके ऊपर हमला हुआ उसने तो ट्वीट किया नहीं था उसने तो मैसेज भेजा नहीं था लेकिन उसके बावजूद उनके ऊपर अटैक हुआ किन परिस्थितियों में हुआ
The Congress party has been very meek in its criticism. They have not even been standing by their own Dalit MLA. It clearly shows Congress party's vote bank politics. They are standing with the mob. We strongly condemn this violence and we deplore the vote bank politics of the Congress party, which really forces them, which makes them go completely into a silent mode whenever the attacks are carried out by a particular minority community.
As the investigation into the shocking violence progresses, expect the war for blame to spiral rapidly. Bureau Report, India Today.
So what do we know here? We know two things. Number one, that there was communal violence which took 3 lives on the night of 11th August. What we also know right now, that there's massive politics that has exploded around it. Who's standing really with the mob? Who has played vote bank politics? Is it just the Congress? Because what really happened was this was a Facebook post by the nephew of a Congress leader, which ultimately apparently resulted in violence. It's a matter of investigation whether it was pre-planned violence or it was spontaneous. But having said that, it's left the citizens of the tech city of Bengaluru completely aghast. Joining me right now are 4 citizens of the city. I have Harish Bijur, brand guru. I have T.M. Veeraraghav, senior journalist. Prasad Bidappa is going to join us in just about a short while. He's a fashion stylist, choreographer, and he's a citizen. I have Mohan Das Pai, chairman, Manipal Global Education. All 4 of you clearly are joining us in the capacity of citizens of Bengaluru. And, you know, being a journalist, Veeraraghav, I want to begin with you. There are claims and there are counter-claims, but if you look at the history and the trajectory of Karnataka, especially in Bengaluru, if you are going to say that, yes, SDPI has been behind the violence, then vote bank politics has not just been played by the Congress. The BJP could have banned the outfit, they didn't do it.
Well, it's extremely unfortunate what's happened, and I don't think the real perpetrators or instigators of this violence, the deeper political dynamics that's led to this, because it's quite obvious. I believe everyone in the locality was aware that the MLA and his nephew haven't been on talking terms. In fact, the nephew had made public his grievances with the MLA. So, given that, you go and target the MLA. I think there's a lot that sort of indicates that this was an instigated act, and I don't think the real perpetrators of this are ever going to come out. It cannot be just fixed on one particular organization. I think the people you see right now are pawns in the hands of a larger game that's played at a local level in that particular area. As far as minority politics is concerned, as far as using such issues in politics is concerned, I guess it's a question of the pot calling the kettle black when it comes to between the two parties.
Veeraraghav, stay with me. Let me bring in, Harish Bijur. Harish Bijur, Bengaluru, it's a rather harmonious society, but having said that, if you go right back to the 70s, there have been communal flare-ups, back in and back again.
Yes, I think, off and on we have had incidents of this kind. But, Bengaluru, the fabric of Bengaluru is not this. We are a very quilted city. And, I personally in Kannada call it a Bisi Bele Bath city, which simply means to say that, we have a mix of everything out here. And most of it goes peaceably. And at the end of the day, people like I and many of us are totally aghast at what's happened. And we are even more aghast at the blame game that's going around. I don't think this is the time to fish in troubled waters. I witness our political parties doing exactly that. They're fishing in troubled waters. This is not the time to do it, because when you do it, you muddy the waters more. We have a terrific police establishment in this city as well as in Karnataka. I think we should let them do their job.
Mohan Das Pai, everyone has political leanings, everyone has an ideology. But having said that, what we were talking about as well, it's a society which has been highly harmonious. We really haven't seen too many skirmishes at that. Something to the effect that has panned out just about 48 hours ago has pretty much left Bangalore shocked.
We are very shocked. We are very shocked at what happened in Bangalore because we never accepted it. Bangalore has a very tolerant culture. We've had a few events, but generally it has been a very tolerant culture where Muslims, Hindus, everybody lives together. We're all friends. We've been here for a long period of time. And this was very shocking. I asked a friend of mine, very close friend, what happened? He told me that people were upset and people were protesting in that particular area because of that particular tweet. He said it was okay till 10 o'clock in the night. Then suddenly he said some anti-social elements came over, instigated people, brought in some rocks and some bricks and all that, and Molotov cocktails or whatever it is, and started going on a rampage. He said we passed 2 or 3 police stations in the march, but sir, we came to this police station and suddenly there was mayhem. So it's very clear that anti-social elements, particularly belonging to a very extremist party from Kerala, which has come here, which is a political party and other extremist organization, they were the instigators behind this, and people have identified them. and we were shocked. And the Muslim community in Bangalore has condemned this. They said we will not accept it. They've asked the government to take strict action against them and throw the force of the law against them. Of course, many of them are a bit upset about the tweet because they're very, very sensitive about their faith. We understand that. But all of them are very clear that there cannot be violence for any reason. And they condemn the violence, and that is a good thing. And now the government of Karnataka has said that they're going to take extreme steps, arrested 140 people. They're going to confiscate their properties and make sure they pay for the damage. Because we need exemplary punishment for these people who have vandalized the property. And the burning of the police station is an act of extremism because it is an affront against the sovereign state. And the state cannot take it lightly. So I think all of us are united in condemning this violence. And I think peace has come to Bangalore, and everybody is together.
Accountability needs to be fixed, but what also needs to be called out, Veera Raghav, is the politics behind it. Because who's really standing with the mob? You know, right now you have the BJP saying it's the Congress. You have the Congress saying it's the BJP. But if you look at subsequent terms of the JDS, the Congress, the BJP, nobody's really taken action because it works for vote bank politics either way.
That's right. I think, before we get into the politics, I think what stood out is the fact that there were Muslim youth who went and held a human chain to protect a temple to ensure there was no flare-up. And I think that's the spirit of Bangalore, really. I mean, in terms of South India, in most cities, that's the sense of communal harmony, and that's really the defining spirit of Bangalore. This was an instigation by anti-social elements. Coming to the politics of it, you see, there has been a churning in that region in terms of the leadership. There is a shift in terms of who is going to be holding sway with the minority community in that area. And I think both political parties, the BJP will definitely fish in troubled waters in those areas. But I don't think one can be blamed over the other. I think it's the responsibility of the entire political system, and not just as a political party level. I'm talking at the elected representative level. I think everything becomes this Congress BJP debate. And in that process, I think we're sort of going over, forgetting the responsibility of the local legislators in that area, who may well be part of this entire game, or at least aware of this entire game. I believe that there has been, and I think most field reporters who've gone to the area are convinced that this is an act which has been instigated specifically by certain forces there. And I think there needs to be an investigation that will reveal that. But unfortunately, in every case of such violence at a localized level, the real perpetrators, the real political players within who benefit eventually by these events are never really brought to book. And it becomes a larger debate, it becomes a larger issue debate. And I think that localized fixing of responsibility for the person responsible hasn't happened in the past, and I doubt it will happen now as well.
Mohandas Pai has a different point of view on that, because what you talk about, Veera Raghav, about how the chain was made by the local Muslim community to protect a temple, has a very different take where Mohandas Pai is concerned. What was your point, Mr. Pai, that you were making on this?
No, there will always be a fair probe. If there's no fair probe, people will go to court. Our courts are very active. Our courts are always there, and people can go to court. Of course, now this Lutyens media and the lefties will start putting their fingers there. And I think that will be very dangerous, because they will try to create a victimhood narrative, because they are on the side of these violent extremists, as they have done in Delhi. They're also fishing here. And we recently saw a TV channel from North India, from Delhi, try to get a video or something saying these people are protecting Muslims. They never said the temple is being protected by a Muslim. They never said whom are they protecting, which are the mob. The mob is the Muslim mob. Even the Muslim community said the Muslim mob was there. So they're trying to get sympathy to say, oh, these are good people, etc. Yes, the great majority of Muslims are very good people.
But Mr. Pai, Mr. Veera Raghav just said it. It's not just North Indian Lutyens media channels who are doing this.
Attacked or, insulted or whatever it is. We have seen it happen in Bangalore before, in the Deccan and all incident. But they are not violent. They're good people. And also, they're all concerned about their livelihood.
Isn't that the point where we categorize people of they are not violent?
They're concerned about the livelihood. They don't have the courage to go burn a police station. They will not do it.
Which is exactly what
it is done by these vandals. Okay. They're done by these extremists, and they must be identified. I'm sure the government will do it.
Okay, I know. Okay, Veera Raghav, I know you want to come in. I want to go to Harish Bijur, but yes, make your point.
No, I'm saying I agree with whatever Mr. Pai is saying. I believe that the large, and all I'm saying is that is the example of the spirit of Bangalore and larger spirit of the community. There are certain sections which are antisocial, and apart from bringing those who are actually involved in the violence to book, I think we need to go one step further and find out who is politically responsible, whether it is the Congress or whether it is the local BJP leader. I'm not making allegations at anyone. I'm saying that the local politicians there are the ones who benefit the most from these things. I think the investigation has to bring that to the surface and expose the ones who are involved. If they have been, using this, for their political gains, until you expose that, they will continue to do that.
Harish Bijur, the citizenry of Bangalore, the citizens have always been very active. Accountability is something that they have sought time in and time again. But do you reckon politics is eclipsing at least the probe right now?
Oh yes, politics is certainly eclipsing it all, because what politics is doing is it's bringing in religion, it's bringing in community, and it's bringing in even social class. I don't think these are issues that need to be brought into the issue that has occurred now. It is about the lumpen element. And I think, I'm totally in agreement to say that, hey, listen, this should be divorced from religion, social class, and community altogether. Please understand the spirit of Bengaluru is an all-abiding spirit. Please understand that Bengaluru is going through one of its toughest times in terms of social angst because of COVID-19. Every home has angst. Every individual has angst. Every worker has angst. Everyone has angst. We don't need yet another bit of a fire occurring on the counter.
Mr. Pai, you would have to admit at least that it's not just one political party which benefits. All three benefit. Mr. Pai, can you hear me?
No, I totally agree with you, because the Congress and JDS needs them because they want the Muslim vote. And BJP possibly tolerates them because they know when they create trouble, the Hindus will be stampeded in voting for them. So all three political parties are guilty. So wait and watch what our Chief Minister does. Our Deputy Chief Minister, Dr. Ashwath Narayan, has gone there and said he'll hunt them down and he'll take care of them. So let us wait. And citizens are very angry and they're very scared at the violence, and they're demanding that action be taken against these political parties. So we have to wait and see. We have seen that SDP also do this kind of a vandalism and violence in Delhi. So I think we need a national endeavor under the Union Home Ministry to take action against these extremist organizations which come from Kerala.
All right, okay, gentlemen, appreciate you all three for joining us. Ultimately, with all the politics that is swirling around, it's the collateral which will pay the highest price, and that is the citizens. Will we ever know who's really behind what happened on the night of 11th August? Let's hope there's a fair probe, and let's just hope politics doesn't eclipse it. Thank you all for joining us. Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.